Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you guys just fine. Good evening, fellas. Angry Blackmen here on Weekend at Gabe's. Good. How are you guys feeling tonight?
Pretty good. Is everything running smooth or what?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, because I know, like, oh, let me turn this up because I can't hear shit.
You sound
I'm good now. I'll make this post real quick.
yeah, sure. Market and promote while you're doing the work. Let's do that.
Yeah.
How you guys doing, man? It's been I have this. I had to tell you, right? And so the last time I saw you, I think it was 2 years ago. You guys stopped by Loyola when I was over there working, and I took all these photographs of you guys in the studio, and I had favorited them on my iPhone. So every time I go into my favorites, I just see you guys like more than my own kids. So just letting you know that it feels like you're almost a part of the family, even though we're not related.
Always love.
So so I always check in with Brian, like hey, what are you guys doing? What are you guys up to? And so I'm always keeping you guys in mind whenever I have an opportunity to bring you guys back on. But you guys have been really busy. You guys got the new album out, Headshots. It came out in just last month. Yeah. So you guys got signed to Arc Records, right?
Wait, Death Bomb?
What? I'm sorry.
Death Bomb.
Death Bomb. I'm sorry.
No
disrespect. Death Bomb.
I'm a huge fan of that label, man. So like,
yeah, you guys got signed. I mean, it's the ultimate artist dream. How are you guys feeling about everything that's happening?
Hey, we still got to put in that work though, and it's like the same, you know. Like you just got to keep working. Like it's cool in the moment, but like that once that's done, you just got to keep working.
Yeah. The Brian, you've been. How do you feel about like the growth of the group? You're mentioned by Q as being the architect of Angry Blackmen. So how's it feel to see the growth of the group evolving?
It feels really good, honestly. It's a work in progress. We still keep grinding every day. Just keep the creativity flowing. And you know what I'm saying? So far we're doing good. So it's a good track record. I'm pretty happy with what's been the turnout.
Nice. The album's title is Headshots. I think you can come to your own conclusion about what you guys are talking about there. What is the record is high energy, which is what I've come to know you guys about. Very political, very socially aware. Do you feel like at this point, considering that the summer that we had with a lot of the issue of race relations being the topic of after the murder of George Floyd, do you guys kind of feel like you're coming at the perfect time when America needs to be talking about race and relations?
Gee, we talked about this. That's crazy. Yeah, we talked about this, man.
Go ahead, take it away, Q.
Because that's a crazy question. Because like before we even started Headshots, we kind of had like a whole other album in our head, and then COVID happened. And then, like the whole Black Lives Matter thing burst into the scene again, and like just all this chaos happened, and we were like, we can't just be rapping about the same. Like, we got to talk about what's going on now, because like it's no going back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was too much shit happening, and Headshots is basically like just an accumulation of 2020. It's like the most 2020 album, bro.
Yeah. No, I agree that it's very poignant and straight to the point. There's really no like pussyfooting around what you guys are trying to talk about. It's very direct, but that has been your guys' angle since you guys started. It's like and I think that comes from the title of your band. It's like we're gonna be in your face and aggressive, and you're gonna know we're here. So I think that's spot on. Am I right?
You hit the nail, man.
100%. That's how it is at the show. Like when you come to a show, it's all in your face. You know what I'm saying? We're not afraid to speak because I've learned that for like to have a stage presence, you have to like make eye contact with the crowd.
Sure.
So what I like to do is I like to get like when I'm in my like storytelling mode and the beat is on, I like to get in people's face and like really connect with them. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of this term Tantra.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of that?
You gotta fill me in. I heard it.
Educate us, Brian.
It's just like a spiritual connection that you grow, basically. Like when you just stare into your significant other, you guys are just having just straight eye contact, just stable, just relaxing and meditating with one another. But obviously you can't meditate while we're performing, but you know what I'm saying, it's just a good connection skill that I've gained over time, and I'm excited to put it on stage when we're able to go back and perform.
Yeah. The record it's like a really, it's, I don't want to say short, but it's like a really brief burst of energy that when you're listening to it, because it really sets things off. Were you guys happy the way that it's presented and that the label is responding to it?
I'm pretty fucking happy. Originally, I think I don't know how you feel about this, Brian. I felt like it was gonna be longer. It was gonna be like 12 tracks, but then like the attention span of modern music consumers in 2020 is so short.
Yeah,
so I know that's like a big thing. People are like, it's so short. Oh my god, I wish it was longer. It's not. It's like I just feel like people's attention spans are so small that we just had to get what we had to say and get out.
Yeah. No, I agree that sometimes that's the best. I mean, it's one of those things where like if it's great, it's going to be too short, and if it's awful, it's going to be too long.
I was telling Q earlier this summer, I said, if we're going to do this, as we were like creating the project and like listening, I was just listening to every song we was creating. I'm like, we have to cut this down, because I understand like when you putting out a project, it's like, that's your body. That's the body of work. Right. You don't want your audience to ignore the body of work that you put out, because when you put out a single, it's just going to be there and it's just going to be gone because it's one song. So,
yeah.
I said, we have to cut this off to where people will not get bored, because I know people can get bored in this generation. So,
yeah.
We really thought about the audience while we was creating this album, pretty much.
Yeah, because I was telling Brian, especially like with newer artists, I feel like with newer artists, people are stuck in their ways. So when like they like an artist, or if they like Drake, for like, let's say Drake, they're gonna stay on Drake. It's seldom that people listen to new artists nowadays, in my opinion.
I just think that it's I think it's really difficult to find new artists, and unless you get on some playlist, and I don't even know if that's really like how honest that is about like people who are unsigned and they find their way out to some Spotify playlist and then their life changes. It's almost like scratching off a lottery ticket in a sense. It's like you're waiting for someone to pick you out of the crowd to give you a chance. It's really difficult for musicians, and even commercial records. I feel like the way that music is promoted today, because everyone is releasing records weekly, daily, hourly. There's always something new to come that it's hard to keep up with what the people you know and love are doing. And then to add on to that, to discover new music is twice as hard, because you actually have to do a little bit of work, or you have to go to a platform, because they're only on SoundCloud and they don't mess with Tidal or Apple, or you have to go to this place to find it, or Bandcamp. It's a lot of work, and I can see why people are just like, I'm not doing that. But so it really cuts a lot of artists off at the feet of getting any momentum, because of sometimes where their music lives and plays. And so it's a challenge for everyone. And I think that we have to do a better job of filtering or getting music that's independent or not commercialized into people's lives. So I don't know.
Nothing beats.
I agree with that 100%.
Was that Martin?
Nothing beats the analog days.
I don't know if I want to go back to like tapes and like dubbing tapes. That was kind of miserable, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Hold up, bro. You were born in '96. What you mean analog days? I mean, so it's like same shit. Like we missed that whole thing. By the time
I still had a Walkman and a CD player.
I was downloading shit around like 2005 and 6. My little whales was LimeWire. Yeah.
I mean the analog, the mixtape, and the records. It had its space. Trust me, and I do miss some of it. However, you ever try to copy someone's tape in real time? It sucks. It's not cool.
Yeah,
that's true. Exactly what you're talking about.
I think I asked you guys this, but tell me again, like where did the origin of your name Angry Blackmen come from? Because sometimes the connotation to an angry black man is not positive at all, and it's often used in a stereotypical way. So how are you? Where did you guys come up with that, and what is your angle or what you're trying to fight against? If there's oppression or racism, well, what's the spirit of the name?
Would you want me to take this, bro? Or you got it.
I'm gonna just kick it off by it started off as Mad Black Man. Now take it away.
Yeah, dude. Like, okay, so this man, I remember this man came to me. The origin, like, it was like end of 2016. This man came to me. He was like, "You want to start a group?" And I was like, "No," because I was stuck in my ways and shit. I thought I was the shit, but I wasn't. And then, yeah. And then I really thought about it. I'm like, dude, I was like 21 or 22. I was like, dude, I have like nothing to lose. It's like, why not? And he came up with Mad Black Men. I was like, no, I'm not really feeling that. That's kind of corny. So I was like, let's just call it Angry Black Men. And I'm like, they had like a ring to it. As for like the angle of what we stand for, I think it just kind of says it in the name. I don't want to be too preachy with it and be like, oh, we're against like oppression and the fucking, it's just all that shit. Because I feel like me saying that, it goes without saying. Because, yeah, of course, an angle of us is like, we're against that. But it shouldn't make up the majority of it. Because we're much more than just that. So I hate when people try to pigeon us to like political rap because we're not that. Just that. Of course, we're that. Like, don't get the game fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it immediately catches your attention. I'm not comparing you to NWA, but there's an equation to that kind of feeling, that vibe. There's a dangerous spirit to it. There's something, I want to say threatening about it, but it definitely catches your attention in your eyes. But also like NWA, it's like on the surface, you're like, oh my God, this is outrageous. But then when you start digging into the records, you're like, holy shit, there's actually something, there's some truth in the stuff that they're saying. And there's some truth mixed in with the crazy, So it's like, so I kind of feel like in the same spirit of what they achieved is kind of, and maybe you guys arrived at it in a different way, but it feels like that. It's like Angry Black Men. But then when you start listening to the records and you're hearing what you guys are talking about, as far as like the social commentary of what's happening today, you're like, wow, like, yes, this is something I can vibe and feel. And there's a real life effect to it. It's not some glamour of violence. It's just what's happening to you, and you have to respect that.
Yes. You hit the nail on that shit, bro. Like you hit the fucking nail. Cause it's like people look at the name and they'll think like, oh, this is like Public Enemy or like super like, it's like, yeah, I mean, I like that shit. We like that shit. But like at the end of the day, we still like talking about like, anime, women, video games, pop culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a big mix of that.
No, it's like a flurry of everything that's happening in a 20-something's life, which is chaos.
Yeah. That's actually facts. Yeah.
Chaos that will never be forgotten.
Like if your record, if you're a 20-year-old recording a record and there isn't a little bit of crazy and chaos, maybe recording probably isn't the best thing for you.
Yeah.
It's like if you're not living life, then I don't know, what are you talking about? And that's the great thing about artists, is like they're able to convey and share those experiences. And if you don't have any experiences, what are you doing? Oh goodness. But yeah, I think that you guys, I think that the good thing about like you being compared to those iconic groups is that they're iconic groups. And so that definitely puts you guys in a space of definitely a lot of room to grow. What is it? I understand that Quentin and you guys are kind of like working separately, or your distance, you're not in the same space anymore. Is the future of the group at risk of being broken up, or what's going to happen now?
Oh, we're close. We're close again. I was in Texas for a while visiting my mom and sister.
Oh, so you're not like leaving. You're just like just visiting.
Oh, yeah. Brian told me that. He was like, yeah, I think Gabe thought you were leaving. And he was like, what's going on? I'm like,
I think it's the way Brian like phrased it. Like, yo, Quentin's leaving.
Now I'll just be like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be doing stuff. I'll be doing so much stuff. I'll just be trying to like receive and give messages. Don't shoot the messenger, please.
Got it. All right. Cool. There is some personal stuff that's happened on this record. Like Quentin, you're talking like you mentioned, I think twice I count of you and the relationship you have with your grandmother. You're like, I would give it all just to have her back. Well, what is that? I think when you're as someone who was close with their grandmother, I can tell you how much I can relate to that line or lines plural. But what is it about that relationship with her that makes you like mention her multiple times on this album?
I think for me it was just that because it happened last year, and I was just thinking about like something that hit me was like, damn, my grandma lived a whole life without Corona, so it was like it's like Corona was happening, so I was just reflecting on my life, and literally like she was born in the 30s and died in 2019. I'm like, she missed all this like craziness, and I was like, I wonder how she would react in these times. Then I dug deeper. I was like, damn, I kind of miss my grandma. Like the whole just kind of kept going down. So I was like, yeah, I never really had like a lot of big deaths in my life. Like I never had like a tragic, sad life where I'm just like, damn man, like not trying to like be bogus, but and I think that was like the first time where like reality hit me, and I was like, damn, like man, my grandma's actually gone. Like, fuck.
Yeah. No, it sucks. I went through that 3-4 years ago. It sucks. There's just no other way of putting it. My parents are still with me, and I don't even want to think about like when that happens. But yeah, like you, I don't really have a lot of deaths in my life to correlate to. So it like that was like one of the biggest ones that like just sucked. Like absolutely was trash. So I understand and respect your pain. On this record. What about the production on this thing? Do you guys do a lot of your own stuff production, right?
Oh no, this was Brian's learning for sure. This is all Gary, a producer we linked up with recently.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Gary. Like, how did you guys find him? What was it about his sound that attracted you guys?
That man is the GOAT, bro. Like, that man is the GOAT. Like, yeah, I just can't even explain it. I don't even know how I ran into him. I know he was like always kind of watching us. I know I met him on the internet for sure. Like, I meet everybody on the internet, but like he was always there. And then I finally one day was like, man, I like your stuff, but it wasn't really a sound that we kind of like would fit on. So I remember like texting him, kind of like, hey, could you make something like this, or if you think you could do that? And he was like all game. A lot of producers, they get like fucking offended when like you ask them to make something like this, but he was like, fuck, let me try doing this, because I guess he was just he was like a fan of us before we even kind of really realized like, oh yeah, I became a fan of him because I think he's great. I think he's the best producer I ever worked with. Like that, his production is crazy, like amazing in my opinion.
Yeah. Where's Gary out of?
I want to say Massachusetts.
Interesting.
I want to say that, but
yeah. Me and Gary working close now to provide some fresh hooks.
Massachusetts.
All right, good deal. So the project is out there on you guys put on Bandcamp first. I think it was on Bandcamp first, and now it's on the streaming platforms. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the are you guys going to keep working this record for a little while and keep, it's a huge deal for you because it just came out. So hopefully, like I was saying Ripley, like, please don't give up on these records because a million other rap records have followed. What is are you guys going to shoot any visuals, or what's the marketing plan for this?
Well, I know we're in the midst of like shooting some more visuals. So that's like just for right now what we're working on as far as music goes. As far as like new tracks go, we're just going to let people settle with this one because it's a lot of layers that people have to take off to understand like the album. Or if people have already digested the album, that's good. But it's like like I said before, it's a body of work, so it definitely can't be ignored right now.
No, it's a fantastic listen to, and I agree with Brian that it's the perfect time to release it, but also the length of the project is like it's easy to digest, get in, get out, and you don't feel like it's like too because the content is so heavy that if you guys would have like I won't say drag, but if you guys would have extended it like to an hour, the mind can't handle that. So it's like the perfect space to like drop 20 minutes of music of like have really heavy, thoughtful, just crazy music into your life and play it. And then fade out. So I think it's right at the perfect time in 2020, especially with all the chaos that's going on. Tell people where they can find you guys on the internets. Angry Blackmen, where you guys live at on these socials.
Yeah, we are on everything. We're like on we're on everything, man. Twitter, Angry Blackmen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good jazz. But yeah. to add on what Brian was saying about the future of the project, because it just came out. So I had some thoughts about that. I was thinking about it. Yeah, right now it's just visuals and like just keeping the momentum up because it is a new project and a lot of people it's gonna be one of those things where I already know like we're gonna be releasing like more projects in the future, and I think this is gonna catch on with more in the future. So yeah, I'm already like prepared for that, like just that whole thought process. So videos will just be following up and then jump into the next project. And hopefully live shows come back because Corona really fucked up a lot.
Yeah, no, I was just talking to St. Ripley about how the Rona affected like kind of his plans for this year, and he was like, I had headlining gigs and all that stuff went away. Like, what did you guys have like a plan of before all this when you were working on the album? You're like, yo, like we're gonna do this, like. What was some of your plans that got shattered?
Couple sub-T shows, a lot of shit. To be honest with you, we had stuff like planned as far as shows before the album came out. When the album came out, a lot of more like booking connects and stuff came through, and like just knowing that could have been a possibility. Like we could have went to Europe or we could have been to New York. Kind of makes me sad because a couple booking people came to us and they were like, yeah, man, we want to, hopefully when this Rona passes, we could put you guys on some nice spots. And I'm just like, because they're talking about what, holding till it's like 2022?
It may be that. Yeah, it might be another year like this.
Yeah, I think what people have to understand is that this is going to be here for a while. I don't think people have set with that. It's like a new thing. It's going to be like a new thing. Like kids are going to come up with this.
Yeah.
We're grateful this didn't happen to us. It's happening today. Y'all see this. Sorry, kid. 2021 on.
Well, I mean, it's I think just shoot for at this point. Maybe everything should just wait till 2022. It's like I don't know what next year is going to look like, but I don't forecast it to be much better than what we're going through now. The hope is that this is rock bottom, and everything from here on up is the light at the end of the tunnel. But we'll find out. But either way, the album is out, so it definitely brings you some good vibes. So that's where we're at. Angry Blackmen Headshots is out now on all streaming platforms. Go put it in your life. Support local Chicago hip hop music. Do the right thing. Put it into your life. Brian, Quentin, always a pleasure. I am patiently waiting for my Angry Blackmen gear. Whenever it arrives, I will be waiting to don it on this show. So it is on you to commit to sending free merch.
Hey.
Emphasize free merch.
Say free. Hey, man.
I appreciate you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. All right.
Thank you so much, man. We love to be on, and I appreciate you too, Gabe.
No, you guys are the best. I really enjoy talking with you guys on and off air, and I'm really happy for your success. And I can't wait for you guys to get back on the stage and perform these records, because I think it's going to be absolutely insane when you guys get back. So I need to see it in real time. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Brian, it's always a pleasure. Please text me back. No, I'm fine.
Saving up my energy. I'm relaxing right now.
What'd you say?
All right. All right, guys, have a good night. We're gonna wrap the show up. That was the Angry Blackmen, St. Ripley's. Thank you for both of them joining us here on the Weekend at Gabe's Hour, on Twitch, on Periscope, on YouTube, on Twitter. We're everywhere.